mikwano, we are still continuing. We are on a book called Believe It to Achieve It by Brian Tracy. So we want to continue. We are still on our introduction. We stopped on page 9, then we go on this one. Avoid a life of quiet desperation over desperation. Unfortunately, too many people, even in this world of abundance and opportunity, continue to live lives of quiet desperation. Instead of being happy, enthusiastic, and optimistic about their lives and the future, many people are still fearful, negative, insecure, worried, angry, and frustrated. They have mental blocks, fears, and frustrations, all rooted in previous experiences that hold them back from fulfilling their potential and becoming everything they are capable of becoming. Fortunately, we know more today about the negative emotions and fixed ideas that hold people back from realizing their full potential for success and achievement than we have ever known before. Sometimes a single idea or insight that leads to you seeing yourself and your life differently can transform you so completely that forever after you will feel wonderful about your life. Starting off with little. Let me tell you my Brian's own story. I came from a poor home with no money and few opportunities. I didn't graduate from high school. I worked at laboring jobs for several years, washing dishes and digging dishes and wells. In my mid-20s, I got into sales where I eventually succeeded, and then into sales management where I succeeded even more. By the time I reached the age of 30, my life was turning around and I was on my way upward and onward. As my fortunes improved, I one day took a deep breath and bought a used Mercedes-Benz 450 silver grey with blue leather upholstery. My dream car for many years. I was able to trade in my older car as a down payment and stretched the monthly payments over 5 years to make it work. But as last I had the car I had always wanted. When I took it out on the road, stepped on the accelerator, it would start moving faster and faster until I had to slow down to avoid getting a speeding ticket. After I had driven this big, powerful car for a year, I took it for servicing to a mechanic who specialized in Mercedes-Benz repairs. Another heading say, the power of one small change. The power of one small change. When I went back to pick up my car, the mechanic Hans told me that he had found a problem in the carburetor. A previous mechanic had inserted a key part backward, thereby cutting down the amount of fuel going into the engine. Hans had replaced this part with a new valve and installed it properly. He said, "You will notice the difference." As it happened, I was already quite happy and contented with my car. It seemed to drive very well for me. I went as fast as I dared on the open highway, but this time when I got into the car, started it up and just barely touched the gas pedal, the car exploded forward as though propelled by a rocket. I had to slam on the brakes to stop from crashing onto the street and into traffic. From there on, whenever I drove my Mercedes, I had to step on the accelerator very gently. A slight touch would cause that car to burst forward at such a speed that I would have to brake quickly to hold it back. And this improvement in performance was because of one small valve deep in the carburetor. Okay, one idea can hold you back. One idea can hold you back. The point is that you are like a beautifully engineered Mercedes, but even if your life is moving along in a satisfactory way, you may have deep within your thinking a negative memory or block that can be holding you back from accomplishing something extraordinary with your life. When you identify this block and remove it, you will suddenly begin to make more progress in a few weeks or months than you might have made in several years. Imagine that you bought a brand new luxury car, beautifully built and engineered with precision in every detail. There was only one problem. Somehow, during the manufacturing process, a part had been installed incorrectly, leading to the brake on the front wheel locking and not turning when you stepped on the gas. Imagine that you got into your brand new, beautiful, expensive car, turned on the ignition, oluzungu mujja kulutegeera lulange lwa gundi lwa kimafiya lweyongereyo, so olina otunula spelling n'otafuna gundi kikyamu. And stepped on the accelerator ate nyina oduyiga obulungi. If one front wheel was locked, what would happen? The car would spin around that front wheel. The back wheels would drive it forward, but it would just go in circles without making any progress. Here is the point. All you need is one unconscious block deep in your mind, a negative emotion or memory from an earlier painful experience, and your life can go around in circles indefinitely. No matter how hard you work on the outside, you will not seem to make the kind of progress in your finances, your family, your parenting, your career, or your health that you should be making. The harder you work on the outside, the less progress you will make, and the more dissatisfied you will feel. You will just go around in circles. Your greatest obstacles to happiness and success are usually contained within yourself, limiting beliefs, those negative beliefs that you have about yourself and your potential that are not based on fact that you have been babisalaka. The key to unlocking your full potential is to challenge these beliefs and replace with new life enhancing beliefs. Komeko Kao. Thank you for listening.